So let's get started. Just a short introduction. So my name is Markus Ståhlberg. I'm the CEO of Enrich, and I've been working on digital marketing for a long time, for 20 years or so. First in B2C, and then eventually I drifted to B2B, and then now in the enterprise B2B segment, which is of course very different from the transactional e-commerce and so forth. We've been working for a long time with Fortune 500 companies, many big clients, in terms of ABM execution, B2B marketing execution. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Enrich. Enrich is a software platform, software as a service platform for ABM. We are the leading platform in Europe, and I'd say the globally most impactful platform. I'd say there are others that are good as well, but this is at least what our clients are telling us. I've also edited a book called Multi-Channel Marketing Ecosystems. This was quite a long time ago, so kind of a pioneering book in this area. Okay, so let's go to the agenda. So basically, I'll be going through some real life ABM use cases, how ABM can be used for product marketing and demand generation. I think Sami did a very good job already in illustrating some of these points in very much practice, but I'll try to establish this a bit more. Then, in terms of a very important topic in the ABM and B2B data side is the intent data. It's said by one of our competitors that it's the new lead, and that's actually quite nicely put. So I'll try to open this up a bit, why intent data is such an important part of the B2B marketing data set in right now, and then it will be more important in the future. And then finally, how to measure the ABM sales impact. So why CRM should be more important data source for marketing than marketing automation. So this is actually a quite funny topic in a sense that why should CRM be more important than marketing automation, which is obviously in very much core of marketing. So I'll start with something that you have probably seen a lot with coronavirus. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm sure you have heard enough of the new normal and things related to that, but it's still a very important point which we see day in, day out with our customers, that actually COVID has changed and will be affecting a huge change in the way B2B marketing is going to be done in the future. So now especially B2B has been quite slow and is still quite slow in terms of adapting the change compared to B2C. B2C is maybe 10 years ahead or more. But B2B has been slow, but this coronavirus has been giving a kind of disruption, which has really I think, at least from our perspective, been very good for B2B. It has probably accelerated the transformation by many years, I would say. So at this moment, still majority of B2B companies are still doing marketing like it was done by B2C companies maybe in 90s or in the beginning of 2000. But this has to change. You can't survive if it doesn't change. So change is the first topic of the presentation here. So first, just a bit about kind of the fundamentals. So if you think about the most modern perspective to the customer funnels, this is approximately what it looks like. So you have a funnel. You start with the visitor, you go to a lead, you go to a marketing qualified lead, then to the sales qualified lead, to an opportunity, and then eventually having a customer. the fact is that this is actually like a B2C, or a model that has been invented for B2C, in which like high volumes in these first stages are considered, and the value of an individual customer is quite low, and then in also like the buying decisions are like relatively impulsive. So this is not really like a customer journey model. It's more like it's some kind of a simplification of the sales and marketing model that is used like today in many B2B companies. The challenge with this model is that it's really simplifying the reality, and it's not taking into account the fundamentals of B2B, which is the fact, which also Sami brought up very nicely, that individual customers can be hugely valuable. So you might be like making millions from like just one customer, compared to like thinking about like consumers, where individual purchases are just worth like a few euros. So what you should be looking at instead is the customer journey, like from the actual terms, like how they look at from the how they look like from the buyer's perspective. So instead of looking at the marketing and sales model, you should be looking at how customers are buying today. And this is Gartner's illustration of the labyrinth that the buying journey looks like, and I always want to start with this because it kind of gives the perspective to how B2B is different from B2C. So if you start on day one, the buying process starts, it might take like a few months before like there is actually like the problem has been identified. There are online research, there are different kinds of discussions, potentially some downloads of white papers, like internal meetings, like all sorts of things, which then like lead into the problem being identified. Then the company can move to the solution exploration, so they know what the problem is, but now they need to find out what is the solution. And this is by no means, it doesn't mean that there is just one solution. You could have like very much like different creative solutions to solving the problem. It doesn't always mean buying something. So again, like a lot of content is needed, a lot of interaction, a lot of engagement is needed in order to land to some kind of an idea of like that this is what we want. And then like the customer can actually move to the requirements building stage, which is in which case in which stage they already know that this is what we want. We want this kind of a solution, and then they need to start mapping the alternatives for this solution. Again, like a lot of conversations, a lot of engagement with different content, but then in this stage already like being in touch with the sales team or with the teams of the actual like selling or marketer companies. And then the requirements like maybe takes again like a few months, and then getting to the actual supplier selection. So basically like getting all the data about the different suppliers, and then like making a decision that okay, this is the supplier we want to go with. And then eventually after about like a couple of years, you may land at the buying decision. So this is kind of the reality of the like enterprise buyer journeys. And if you think about the funnel, like in the previous slide, it has really nothing to do with this kind of approach. So what you need to do, this is very complex. There is a lot of data that you can gather, and now again getting to this new normal. Almost all of these, or like let's say an increasing number of these touch points, are digital. Previously, like there was the before Corona, like most of the touch points were not digital. Now with the advent of virtual events and virtual showrooms and whatnot, this is like digitalizing the process more and more. So this is basically like it's an opportunity actually for B2B marketers, like what COVID has brought. Okay, so then let's move to the next point. Another change that needs to be done. This is the one that I mentioned in the agenda. So which one is more important, marketing data source marketing automation or CRM. Majority of world's B2B companies would be saying that it's the marketing automation, because that is what marketing is actively working with, and obviously marketing automation is the system generating and storing the leads, the marketing qualified leads, the sales qualified leads. This is in like let's say the traditional approach. This is like what digital marketing in B2B actually is. It's really a lot about marketing automation and lead qualification. But fundamentally, if you think about the business, if you think about the management perspective, management couldn't care less about these metrics. These are not like business metrics. And what you have in CRM is really like that's kind of the like what should be the center of like everything that the company actually does. The sales opportunity data. That is the window to the actual business of the company. And yet we see very rarely like sales opportunity data being like the driving force behind marketing. So usually marketing automation is the driving force, and not really the CRM and the sales opportunities. So our like a strong recommendation is that the CRM should play a bigger role in the decision that and in the data sets that marketing are taking advantage of. So like marketing automation is more about like vanity metrics. Okay, then if that's a bit about like the change that needs to happen, so like a kind of understanding that the like consumer-based funnel is not really like the way to go. You should like equip yourself to getting the data points from these complex buyer journeys of your key customers. You should of course first understand which ones are the potential customers, and then then eventually understanding that your like a key data set is actually in CRM instead of being in marketing automation. Like after those realizations can be made, then we can talk a bit about like how does data generally and ABM drive the transformation and change. So ABM is really like all about understanding the buyer journey. So this is like just one way of looking at the buyer journey, dividing it into 3 stages. This is I like this approach because it simplifies the like dealing with it and discussing about it, and it's like accurate enough. So even if it's the labyrinth, you can still like divide these different phases of the buying process into the top of the funnel, into the middle of the funnel, and into the bottom of the funnel. And you have different kinds of roles, different kinds of buyer personas in each of the accounts. You have decision makers, you have influencers, you have users, you might have even different roles. What you need to understand is like what is the role of or what is the, let's say, the emphasis of the different roles in different stages of the buying process. So for instance, when you're at the top of the funnel, like kind of actually identifying the problem and deciding that we need to do something about it, getting towards actually like mapping the solutions, decision makers have a big role, obviously, because they are the budget holders. They are the ones making the decisions. There are influencers play a big role. So they are kind of providing this data, this information that, you know, these are the problems in the market. These are things that our competition is doing. These are things that our other like you know, other markets are doing. Other like in the other markets, like companies are doing. So they feed inputs to the decision makers, who then like kind of can provide decision and actually like help moving this process forward. Users are not in that bigger role. This could be of course different. It depends on the like buying cycles and industries and so forth. But this is just one example. But it's very important because all of this is related to what kind of content you are creating. And content is really in the heart of ABM. If data is the other part, the content is then the other part. And actually they should be like merging in a sense that content drives data and the data drives content. This is why normally B2B marketers don't have enough internal resources for like strategic content creation. That's why like agencies like are really valuable assets related to ABM. Then, like if you look at when you get to the middle of the funnel, decision makers are not that in that big a role. Then this is about mapping the solutions and going through like what vendors there are. Users like become more influential at this point. And then like finally in the bottom of the funnel, the decision makers again like will have more influence. What we have done to simplify this is actually like that we consider that when the opportunity has been created, the account is in the bottom of the funnel. Obviously, it could be that they are in the bottom of the funnel of some other company, like that they are like they have an opportunity there, but you don't have an opportunity. So that's completely like a realistic scenario. But these usually there is good data about this available. Top of the funnel, like that's basically your target market, which you want to educate, you want to create awareness about. And then like middle of the funnel is the most interesting one here in terms of data, because you need to be like able to like extract and divide which accounts are in the top of the funnel, which accounts are in the middle of the funnel. And as said, the bottom of the funnel is like can be tagged by the fact that the companies are in the buying process already, or in the opportunities. There is an existing opportunity available. So then let's look at the ABM use cases in these different stages. I'll just run this through like quickly, so you can think about existing products that you have, like existing services. So what you want to do is like you want to generate awareness about the new product. So this could be existing or new products, obviously, and you want to ensure in the middle of the funnel that the product is in the top of the mind. So like just ensuring that you have a thought leadership position there in terms of like in terms of the account, and then like eventually like that your product is the one that is the most likely one popping up for the customer in terms of like a solution. And then like in the bottom of the funnel, you want to nurture the existing opportunities. Obviously here in the bottom of the funnel, sales is doing most of the work, whereas in these other stages it's more related to marketing. Then you have install base, so like basically existing products. Also there, like you have an upgrade or like upsell that you can do in the like top of the funnel, like basically bringing up the problem. You want to in the middle of the funnel, like bring the replacement products, like or the upsell product into the top of the mind, and again in the bottom of the funnel, just nurture these existing opportunities. There are different ways to do the nurture. You can focus on the specific product related to the opportunity, or then you can do it just in a general way, just kind of in a bit of similar way that you do it in the top of the funnel. And then you have intent data. This is the topic I mentioned before. This is like a really fundamental thing. So what you want to do there in terms of the data is to understand like which accounts are in the top of the funnel and middle of the funnel, and that's really difficult to do. But let's say the easiest way to start working on it is through content. So if you are good with your content, if you can categorize your content to top of the funnel and middle of the funnel, and then you have a method of distributing this content to your accounts, to your named accounts, then you can use this content to basically do this sub-segmentation. And this is hugely valuable for the sales, obviously, because then you are able to like tell to the sales that these accounts are further in the buying process compared to the other ones. And then you want to identify which buyer personas, again, the roles which are like being engaged. So this is also done through the content. So or let's say the easiest way to do it is through content. So if you are like good with content like creation, or if you have good partners for it, you should be able to segment your content into like interest areas of different personas, and then through this you can get a cue on like which personas are actually engaging with your content from different accounts, and yeah, this would be like a very valuable data point. And then finally in the bottom of the funnel, this is where like the accounts are kind of getting ready to buy. There you can use intent data with the digital sales, like for instance LinkedIn Sales Navigator type approach, or like LinkedIn like emails or emailing and so forth. Or then it could be traditional telemarketing, for instance, just to engage with the account on contact level and to find out who are those key points of contact who are being engaging at the moment, and then basically deliver this information to the sales team. Okay, so then like how do you use ABM to generate sales intelligence? So going into like just a bit more detailed level about the like a sales intelligence piece. So you basically have your like account-based marketing named accounts. What you want to do is you want to detect accounts that are having medium to high intent. So it means that their behavior is showing signals that they are in the middle or bottom of the funnel instead of being in the top of the funnel. And then this data can be used by both sales and marketing. So for sales, this gives, or for marketing, this gives you a possibility of like doing retargeting on the high intent individual and account level. And this is again like a content exercise. So what kind of content should you be pushing to these accounts that have been identified being in the high intent like category? And then from the sales perspective, like just mentioned, you can basically then like use digital sales, telesales, telemarketing to identify these contacts and the locations, and then like kind of get to the contact level and provide this data to the sales reps, who can then actually start moving this account into the opportunity stage and like through the funnel. And then obviously at the same time, like the accounts should be like kind of coming from the sales activity. So whenever there is a new opportunity coming to sales, this should be going as the like as a new named account within the account-based marketing. So basically, like objective is to gather actionable intelligence from ABM data set, both for marketing and then for the sales team. Then if you think about like some complementary ABM use cases, so we have the awareness and brand building, like generally like very important marketing objectives. This is like really in the top of the funnel, but also could be in the bottom of the funnel. I would say I would categorize it in this way, that middle of the funnel is really should focus more on the product and on like concrete use cases and concrete data information related to their buying decision. But in the top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, you should be like more in the, or you can be more in the awareness and brand building like approach. Then you have the tactical sales support. So you can support individual accounts. So when a sales team is having a discussion with an individual account, you can support it with ABM, and you can support territory sales. So if it's not just one, it could be like a larger territory, like just supporting those efforts with ABM. This is happening very rarely. Like sales doesn't really typically understand what are these capabilities that ABM provides, and also like marketing can't communicate it to the sales, especially in the bigger organizations. But this is like the big like opportunity, I would say, like to kind of bridge the gap, because ABM makes sense for the sales and sales makes sense for the ABM. So it's kind of like a very, very good match. And then finally, you have kind of a separate thread here, like content development. So basically understanding what content is working, iterating, being agile with your content development. And then like when you have certain content pieces, like thought leadership content pieces and so forth, just increase awareness about those, distribute them to your target accounts and measure the result. So you should be using ABM at the same time with some many objectives, instead of just thinking about it as one use case that you are running. Then related to the intent data, here's one definition of how it works. So intent is a process of understanding and applying buyer insights to marketing processes. I would say that it's also to sales processes. So intent data is gathered through online activity. It could be also sales activity, actually, not just online activity. Any activity that is mapped in a digital system, which can be like mapped to an account level. It's intent management, so you need some kind of a system to manage this. It's like millions of data points, so it's not possible in any case to do it manually. Then you need to activate this data. So it's not just marketing and sales applications. So basically like retargeting based on intent, creating your segments based on intent, providing sales this intent data for their outreach, and then finally trying to identify who this person is, like based on like the persona's role and the engagement that has been generated. So all of this is part of the intent. And now to this claim that intent data is the new lead, the reason why I would also buy this statement is the fact that ABM is not really that efficient in lead generation. This is just a fact. Like ABM is not working in this based on this like consumer-based traditional funnel where you have like you do spray and pray and then just like move forward in the funnel. So if you think about the lead generation, if you have 1,000 named account, you might be getting 10 leads, out of which maybe 3 become MQLs and maybe 1 becomes SQL. Something like this is our normal numbers on B2B side. So it's not really like that big quantity of leads that you can generate from your named accounts. And what this means also is that with this process you would be dropping 990 accounts and potentially 999 accounts. So with ABM it doesn't make any sense. With intent data it doesn't make any sense to drop them. So what you want to do instead is you basically keep on focusing on these accounts regardless if they become leads or not. Leads are just one type of engagement. You have all sorts of different engagement, whether it's like a virtual event, whether it's like visiting on your website, whether it's watching a video, like all sorts of things. You can gather a lot of these signals, like put them to the account level, and you can use this data to categorize which accounts are more likely to buy compared to the others, and you can use this data to actually lead opportunities into further stages or actually already to closure. So this gives you more power in terms of influencing the sales compared to just having individual leads. Okay, so I think I have used my time now. So I want to say thank you to everybody. I will be here still until the end of the webinar. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Markus, for the great presentation. And next up, we will have our own boy, Otto Niinikoski, talking more about how to increase awareness, engagement, and sales in dream clients. So welcome, Otto.
Thank you, Markus, and thanks for Sami and Markus for the great and inspiring presentations. Really much food of thought from those ones, and I'm going to reflect on the same topics as well. But I will start by sharing the presentation. So now you can probably see.
Yes.
My presentation, perfect. So yeah, briefly about me. I work in Valve. So my name is Otto Niinikoski. Like you can see from my topic or slide, and I work as a growth marketing strategist at Valve. Almost 14 years in the field of marketing, mostly focused on digital marketing, growth marketing activities for clients. That's briefly about me. And yeah, I will focus on giving you concrete examples on channels and tactics that can be used in account-based marketing in different levels of the customer journey or the funnel that Markus was talking about just before me. So basically, I have divided my presentation into 3 parts. Nothing really surprising for you, but I will start on focusing on the awareness part, and then go into the engagement and convincing, and then finally we'll talk briefly about we'll touch briefly about the same topics that Markus just talked about in terms of the sales approach. So this will be the structure, and I don't know if I have to repeat this again, but I will do that because the repetition is great, at least I think so. But then again, you can't really miss this the importance of the segmentation and the target group definitions. So the basis for ABM activities and all, I think all the marketing activities is the definition of your target group and dream clients. And what does that mean? It's familiar for all of you now when listening up about Sami and Markus before me, but you need to recognize and know who are really the companies that by presumption are interested about your offering and services, and the ones that you love to work with. So the key and strategic accounts, I would say. In this presentation, I will focus on all of these channels and platforms. I will go briefly into Enrich, and then talk a bit about LinkedIn as well, and then touch on Google and Facebook and Instagram as well. But basically we'll give you, I hope that I can give you tips and tricks how to approach these dream clients of yours by utilizing these different channels and platforms. And of course, we have to remember that these different channels provide different possibilities and options on targeting these dream clients of yours. So like in Enrich and LinkedIn, we know that it's easier to really target the key and strategic accounts. But when it comes to Google and Facebook and Instagram separately, it can be a bit trickier. But I try to give you a few examples on that one. But let's go to the first phase. So increasing the awareness in dream clients, and I give you a few tips and tricks on each channel I introduced just in the previous slide. So of course, we've been talking about Enrich platform today in Sami's presentation, and of course as the role of CEO of Enrich in Markus's presentation as well. But the easy and really actionable way in Enrich to do and push the awareness part is to really utilize and use the cross-channel ads that Enrich platform offer. And of course, it all starts from like in every platform, campaign building and planning starts from the dream client list. But then again, you have to. I'm not going to touch on deep into the content in this presentation, but it is vital that you have defined your unique selling points of your offering, and you plan and produce your ads so that you will touch on the most important topics regarding your offering and services that really wakes up the interest of your dream potential prospects and dream clients in the awareness level. But like said in previous presentations, Enrich offers really easy options on building these cross-channel ads to really reach and create awareness and eventually activate the potential dream clients into your website if you have a landing page and a content that is really trying to give them more explanation on the service and offering. And of course, the AI of Enrich is really useful in this case by giving you really much examples and versions from A to B to C to D to really see which of the picture and text headline and description assets are going to work together really well. And I recommend you to when using Enrich platform, I recommend you to create several different cross-channel ad setups to really see how they are working with certain types of images and texts together. Yeah, but then jumping to LinkedIn from Enrich, we probably are familiar with LinkedIn targeting options, but LinkedIn offers really easy ways to really upload your dream client list. It can be in company or in contact level to really create the audience that is important for you, that are really the key and strategic accounts, and not based on just LinkedIn specific targeting options, but are really based on the key companies you wanna focus on in the awareness creation. And I would really suggest in this part, Sami was talking about the importance of video, and you can't really set that aside. It's really important that you have good engaging video content combined with more tactical sort of link ads, sponsored content, really to be effective in the awareness phase. And one last thing in this phase in LinkedIn is that you need to invest enough in order to really build up the reach. And of course, the investment level depends on the amount or the size of the dream client list. That's for certain. But I will offer a few steps forward from this in the next part of the funnel. Then I have a bit about Google Ads, and as you know, Google Ads is a bit hard on defining the really ABM specific audience, but I try to give you some hints and tips on how to do it. So of course, in Google, you can use these custom audience creations, which are really helpful if you want to look if there's enough of your target group or the defined target group found from Google platforms. For example, by using search terms, you can use the most important search terms that you already should know in terms of your products and offering, and then looking at the website of course of your own, but then again the competitors as well, because most of the potential clients or prospects for you are really trying to look at the information from your competitors' websites as well. And of course, if you have apps, etc., in your field of industry in use, those can be used as a targeting option for creating the custom audience. And these type of custom audiences can then be utilized in display network or YouTube to really build up the awareness. And last part in this increasing the awareness or top of the funnel, so to speak, is the Facebook option to upload your own customer list to Facebook. You can use that one by defining the target group of your dream clients, and if that's not possible, you can then try to define the target group based on the targeting options that Facebook provides. So basically all the demographic options, interests, industries, employers, titles, etc., etc. This usually works better if you have bigger markets and so on, because you know that Facebook user data is not that accurate in terms of professional level, but you can try try to create the target groups and see what comes up if you can find segments big enough in this case. And of course, by utilizing video and link ads is the way to really build up the awareness. And in the customer list part, one thing to say from that is that you the one type of creating the connection is mobile phone number. So that's at least from my view, the one that would be useful, because people aren't using their work emails in Facebook, but mobile phone number can be one. Then going deeper, let's say in the middle of the funnel, to really engage and convince. Here are a few tips and tricks on that one. So Enrich is of course one of the key platforms in ABM campaigning, and Enrich is offering really good options on this engagement and convincing or engaging convince level, so to speak. So then again, like Sami already told us, please utilize video and article content that really gives the dream clients the explanation and convincement on how you create additional value for their businesses. And of course these formats are really easy to use, and you can test several different ad options in order to see which of the ads are the ones that really create engagement in the dream clients and in the company level that you are willing to influence with. So really recommend on building good articles and videos in Enrich platform to really utilize the whole range of possibilities in this engagement and convince level. Then a bit about LinkedIn. So this will follow the awareness part pretty well, I think. So after you have used video, for example, video ads in the awareness part for the dream client list you want to target on, you can use that I'd say content consumption as a remarketing option in this case. So you can use the previous video campaign or previous video activities you used in the awareness part and create that, a remarketing list from that one. And it can be then specified how deep the interest must be to the video. It can be from 25% up to 95%, but I would say that it's good to use the lower numbers in this case, so that you will get big enough remarketing list for your engagement phase. And of course, there are different options in this part as well. You can use the video remarketing, but then you can utilize lead generation ads or message ads, which is the old in-mail in this phase of the funnel as well, together with the video. And I would say that the kind of idea in here is to deepen the story and really open up the offering. And one actually interesting thing in remarketing, in creating remarketing lists in LinkedIn, is that you can also use the lead gen formula as the basis of creating the remarketing list. So you can use the opens and leads or both of them in creating the remarketing in this case. And then a bit of the same way in Google. So how to really create the engagement and deepen the interest in Google. You can use the same type of idea in here. So in the awareness part, you have utilized video content, which can then be used as the remarketing option for the next step or in the middle of the funnel. So you can select any video you have used in advertising previously and create a remarketing list from that one and then of course utilize the audience or the remarketing list in all of the Google options, in this case in search display and YouTube, to deepen the interest. And then last part in this engagement and convince sort of funnel level in the middle of the funnel is how to utilize Facebook and Instagram, and there are similar options in the business manager of Facebook in using the video as the point of creating the remarketing list, which then can be used as the target group for the campaigning in this engagement phase. And it can be, of course, anything that deepens really the message, another video message that provides use cases, references, or demos, or anything that is really really giving the potential dream clients the explanation on how or why they should choose you instead of the competitors. And then and of course you can utilize different formats as well, so lead gen ads and so on. And lead gen form can also be used as the same way as video as the basis for retargeting or remarketing list. Similarly, like in LinkedIn. And then one thing to notice is that Facebook offers options starting from 3-second consumption or video view and going up on bigger video lengths in terms of the consumption. So you can really choose how engaged the target group or the remarketed group you want to be or should be in order to show them different ads in this phase. But it can be really light. The intent can be really light or a bit heavier then. And of course, I think this is really related on understanding the own media data, understanding the website visitors, trying to understand by using technology which companies are really engaging with you in your website. What are they doing? Are they spending enough time? Are they downloading white papers and reading blogs and articles and so forth? And I think eventually you can't really miss this part. You need to create remarketing lists from your site visitors, or based on the dream clients and the companies you want to really affect on long term. And of course, it's really effective if you can segment these visitors into more strategic level, so that you really know what is the next step or what kind of content you should be offering and what is their stage of the sort of marketing and sales pipeline. And then my last part is focusing on sales approach, and Markus Ståhlberg kind of stole the show in this case, but I think it's good to have a bit of repetition, like I said before. So Markus already introduced you ways of really boosting the sales, really connecting marketing and sales effectively together. But yeah, I think the most important thing in here is that in this phase you already know from the data that which are the companies that are really engaging and really are willing to find out more, or you should approach them with sales activities, so to speak. So you have really recognize the companies, and then again recognize the decision makers inside these companies, and then trying to go forward from there, and trying to push more efforts on sales approach. Here are just few probably familiar examples on how to really sort of close the opportunities or use a more sales type of approach. But yeah, LinkedIn message ads, like said, in engage and convince phase are really good on creating the opportunity influencing in this sort of closer to sales part as well. But of course, you need to think about the approach in there so that it has really clear CTAs and who is the sender and so forth. It really tells a lot if the sender is like a sales director or a CEO or so forth. So really plan it well. Of course, most of the sales teams and really highly skilled sales experts probably utilize LinkedIn Sales Navigator already, but that's of course one important thing where you can really easily go into decision maker level and then really personalized type of to give really personal type of approach for these individuals, for the potential clients from the sales team and sales individuals. And then, like I said, it's important to recognize the companies that are really consuming the content on each level, of course, of the ABM funnel or sort of B2B funnel, I would say. But there are technologies that offer you really good knowledge on which are the companies that are on your dream client list, really visiting your website and spending time there and so forth. And if the activity levels are high on certain companies, you should really focus on those one. And lead feeder is one type of technology that gives you knowledge on that one. And then last thing is the same thing that Markus was talking about, the telesales, but this type of sales development representatives is this rising kind of way of really doing the leads qualification effectively on really see which of the decision makers and companies are interested and which not, to push them then through to the sales and close the opportunities. Yeah, but I guess that's all. My last words are on this slide, and yeah, I usually like to end my presentation on giving few important short sentences. So yeah, everything starts from precise planning and target group definition. You really should know who are the key and strategic accounts, and try to see if you can really create the segments and target them in the platforms that, for example, I just introduced. Then it's continuous test, measurement, and optimization based on data and results you're gonna get. And then, of course, I really encourage to share the results and work together with sales, marketing and sales closely together in order to really be effective in the marketing and sales pipeline. So yeah, I guess that's all from my part. Thank you for your time, and we still have a few minutes left. So I guess I'm gonna pass the mic to our host Markus now.
Yes, thank you, Otto, for your great presentation. And actually there is one question. I think this is more for Markus. So how enrich target accounts in ABM? Have they gathered the IPs of the employees? So how does it work?
Okay, that's a good question. So, so the way the accounts are associated with the or the people are associated with the accounts is based on IP addresses, like you correctly guessed. So there are like tens of millions or hundreds of millions IP address ranges, which update constantly in our system, and then they associate with the accounts. And all of this happens like in the media or in the programmatic ecosystem. So it's quite complicated process, and there is a lot of data available. But essentially, the targeting is always person-based. It's based on cookies. So a cookie is associated with the account based on IP address from our system, and then these cookies behavior is being like let's say tracked in a sense that like our system tries to find those people who have the highest intent. So that's the way the association works.
Yes, good. And if no any questions, I could ask actually one question maybe to both of you guys. So as you have been implementing like ABM campaigns to the customers and seeing the results, what do you see, like what are the like top 3 or the biggest, like success factors that really guarantee the success of ABM?
Yeah, maybe
Markus have more campaigns on the belt, so I'll pass the mic for Markus in this case.
Yeah, so but I think Otto, you were touching the very right things. So first thing is the target account segments. So that's the most important. That's the most important thing. Second one is the you need to have access to the data. Like there are so many different data sources available, and I'd say like the third one is then capability of like managing this process through analytics and through content. So I think these are the three success metrics. And for the analytics, I have to mention still this, that like ABM becomes internal success story when like you can actually associate it with like big sales numbers, when you can say, like Sami was showing that like ABM has influenced 8 million euros in sales. Then the management starts to get interested in marketing. So that's very crucial point as well.
Okay, good. Does Otto have anything to add?
I think Markus covered everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't really minimize the importance of the definition part. I think it's crucial. That's and goal and objective setup, I would say.
Okay, great. But anyway, thank you for the speakers, and we will also, to the attendees, we will give you the webinar recording. Unfortunately, we can't share the Sami's recording to you due to the confidentiality issues, but we can give you the Markus's speech recording and also Otto's one, and we will also send out you feedback survey that we wish to ask you, and also please be tuned into our upcoming webinars. So we have really interesting topics coming up in this fall. So hopefully we can see you also later in the fall. But anyway, that's all from us, and thank you for participation, and have a good rest of the week.